Welcome to Guesstimators, the quiz that gets inside the brilliant and bizarre brains of Britain. I'm Andy Bush, and every week we answer the biggest questions facing British society, like why Pat O'Banton would have been the best addition to the Beatles. This week we are delighted to be joined by comedian and social media sensation Ash Tyson. Ash has amassed more than 150,000 followers and 7 million likes on TikTok with her content and skits, turning mundane scenarios into laugh-out-loud moments. She's also been trying her hand at stand-up, performing on the bill of the In on the Joke comedy night, hosted by female-led comedy platform She's Not Funny. Ash, welcome to Guesstimators.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's brilliant to have you on. Just very intrigued by your switch from TikTok into live stand-up comedy and so on, a thing that would terrify most people.
Yeah.
How's that been going? How have you found it?
It's going okay. I actually was speaking about this the other day. So that I got into stand-up off of like a dare that I dared myself to do for a New Year's resolution. I was like, I'm going to try an open mic. And all my friends was like, nah, you're not. And I was like, I am. I think I'm going to try an open mic. And from a small town, so it's a really random thing to have a comedian amongst us. And then I did it. And I really enjoyed it. And then I haven't done that many, honestly, because I'm shy. I know it doesn't always seem like it when I'm doing stuff like this, but I find it hard to like message people and say, can I get on your night? Or like, I'm just not really like sociable. And a lot of it is like socialising and like and it's kind of clicky, like not in a bad way.
No, but it is though. I think it is. It's like you have to work the scene.
People know each other. Exactly. It's a scene. It's a circuit. And I'm finding it hard to get onto the circuit because shy kids don't get sweets, and I am feeling a bit shy outside of it all. But then it's annoying because then when I get there, I am able to put a mask on and like have a really good time and do well at stand up. Yeah. But it's just when I'm at home, like I find it. I don't know. I think I need to get onto the circuit more, but it's hard for me to inject myself into places. Yeah.
Well, watch this space. You never know.
Thank you.
Make it come back soon. Let's turn our focus to quizzing. Are you a good quizzer? Are you quite competitive, Ash?
Yes, very competitive. I'm planning on winning today.
Unswerving eye contact from Ash at that point there as well. Well, look, we are here to quiz. So let's get stuck in following a quick recap on how it all works with Matt Cutler, a.k.a. the Statman.
Thanks, Bush, and welcome, Ash. So we've compiled a group of people from across the UK representing a wide range of backgrounds, ages and interests, and we call them the Guestination. So you'll hear us reference the Guestination quite a lot. We ask them a series of questions to which there's no correct answer. Frankly, quite stupid questions. Your job's to work out what their most common answers were. Easy as that. Our listeners have been playing this game all week, but in this episode, it's you against Bush. So that's where the competitive element's going to come in.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the whole atmosphere's changed.
I love it. There'll be 3 rounds and I'll take your answers. So let's get cracking, because this week's Guesstimators quiz is called Cars, Catholics and Chicken Coops. And round one this week, inspired by the better weather and plans for summer holidays taking shape, we wanted to explore the British public's relationship with one of our most popular tourist destinations, Italy.
Oh, you've been to Italy before, Ash?
I have been to Italy.
I've never been.
Really?
No, I've never been. Did you like it?
Oh, it was so lovely, but I booked it before I knew I was pregnant.
Okay.
And then went out there, and I don't know if you've ever been pregnant before, but in like the first 12 weeks, you're really, really sensitive to like smells. And when I got out there, like all the smell of the like bread and wheat and the canals, it just ruined my experience. And I went there to go drink wine. So I just resent my child because of it.
Oh, wow. the smell of bread, wheat and canals.
Yeah.
That's Italy in a nutshell.
Yeah. I'm surprised you've never been to Italy, Bush.
Never been? Oh, no, well, I have. Sorry. We did a cruise with work. Okay, and we got off for the day at Pisa with the Leaning Tower. Did the old pretend to hold it up picture.
Oh, classic.
Thanks very much. You might have seen it on social media, and got back on the boat, and that was it.
Was that the Disney cruise?
Yeah, it was a Disney cruise.
Wait, it really was?
It was, yeah.
Are you a Disney adult?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. No, I wasn't. No, what's your
accusations?
Just as a bit of an aside, what's your view on adults that kind of like Disney stuff?
I don't mind. I don't care about anything that has no victims. Like, people can enjoy whatever they want to enjoy.
Oh, they were victims. Hearing Mickey sing the third time that week. No, it was really good. But yeah, I'm not classifying that as having been to Italy, because I just got off the boat for a bit and then got back on again.
I forget that I go to Italy as well sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I know what it's like.
Okay. Well, we asked the Guestination simply name the first word they associate with Italy. That was what we asked them. Question 1, did more people say Luigi or Mario?
Do you have a preference of the two
Mario
brothers? What about Luigi? I feel like Luigi's quite overlooked in the world of Mario, the Mario brothers, isn't he?
He is,
Do you know what I
and I feel bad for him because that's a really fun word to say. So it's obviously personal. I've never watched it myself, but maybe he's not very nice.
Maybe he's not a very nice guy.
Not very likeable.
Hasn't Luigi been slightly taken over by that lad that done the shooting in America? Luigi Mangione or whatever his name is.
Well,
you know what I mean?
that's a double fun name to say.
Is it Luigi Mangione?
Yeah.
2 plates of Luigi Mangione, please. So yeah, I feel like Luigi is now a bit kind of tainted somewhat.
But people love him. He's like a sexy criminal. Isn't
He's
he?
sexy criminal.
So maybe it's in his favour.
Well, yeah, he is. He's like a hot felon.
Yeah.
As they say. So have you ever played video games like that? Mario? You ever played Mario video games?
No, never.
Video gaming in general, have you played video games?
I don't think I have.
No? Okay.
I want to say now that I have because you seemed like I should.
No, there's no, you don't have to.
Okay.
I was just checking.
I'm just checking too. No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I will if it matters to you.
Okay.
No, I don't think I have ever been like a big gamer, no.
Okay, so you wouldn't have played the Mario, I'm not even...
Maybe Mario Kart at like some holiday camp or something.
Yep. Okay, so you reckon in terms of the general public though, who's popping into the head, Luigi or Mario? What are you saying?
Mario.
I'll go Luigi.
Ooh, okay, nice.
Even though it is connected with an atrocity.
This is not my observation. I think it's an observation of someone who came on Guest Estimators before because I think I saw them talking about it on Twitter. They call them the Super Mario Brothers, but that's not like their surname. You know, you'd say like, it's the Bush Brothers.
Yes, so my brother Simon.
Or the implication is that is Mario and Luigi's surname
Mario.
Yeah, that's a good point. Again, it's all about Mario, isn't it? Poor old Luigi.
And when I think of that, I see red as well. Is Mario the red one?
He is the red one, yeah.
There you go.
What are you seeing when you think of Luigi?
Yellow.
Is he yellow?
He's green.
Oh, I thought he was yellow. Okay, fair
Wario is yellow.
Wario
is the arch nemesis.
See, I know my Marios. But Luigi's not so much.
Okay, I'll take Luigi for you, Bush, and Mario for you, Ash. Questions 2 and 3, I'll give you these together. I simply want to know what was the most common answer and what was the second most common answer, and I'll give you some choices. Mm-hmm. Was it Catholics, football, gelato? Am I saying that right? Gelato?
Yeah.
Gelato.
Thank you. Yeah, I said that in a bit of a posh way. Pasta, pizza, or spaghetti? The top 2 answers are in those: Catholics, football, gelato, pasta, pizza, or spaghetti. I want to know what was the most common answer and the second most common answer. And I'll give you a half point if you say one of them in the wrong position.
Canals or wheat, not in there?
No, not in there.
Not in there.
Oh.
Damn.
Or wine.
I'll go spaghetti then because I could smell that as well. Spaghetti and pasta.
Oh, okay, in that order.
So I'm sensing, Ash, that you're a very sensory person. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
you kind of see.
I'm neurodivergent, so I'm very sensory driven.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
you get like almost like an aura from someone, or you get the main thing that would, if you meet someone, do you get like a colour or a thing rather than them as a person?
Yeah, I do. Like people remind me of things. And I feel the same with like moods as well. Like when I'm in mood, sometimes I can't say what mood I feel like I'm in, but I could maybe like tell you like an image that it looks like.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's cool. I like that. It's probably a better way of describing stuff than
Yeah. But that's why Italy was hell, because I'm a sensory person and I was really overstimulated by the smell of wheat and canals.
I totally get with that. I completely get with that. Right,
And spaghetti and pasta.
So you're saying spaghetti for this and pasta?
Yeah.
Okay, what am I going to go for here? Catholics, that's a weird one. Although you do that kind of church thing. I've been, finished watching Sopranos not that long ago. There's quite a lot of that in there. Football, they love their football. Gelato is such a weird word in there that I'm wondering whether that is not Statman Matt speak and it's actual that's come back from the audience speak. So I'm going to go gelato and pizza.
Gelato and pizza.
There you go.
Nice.
What's the difference in gelato and ice cream? Is there a difference?
I know.
Do you?
I think. Oh, sorry, I actually don't know. I would know the difference if I looked at them. I used to work in an Italian restaurant. Gelato is icier.
Oh, like a sorbet type
Yes.
thing.
Is it more sorbet? Has it got eggs involved in it? Maybe there's eggs.
I didn't know. I just thought it was the Italian word for ice cream.
Yeah, maybe it is.
It might be.
Honestly, it might be, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just looked on Google. Gelato apparently is denser and smoother. It's because it takes longer for them to churn it, so it's like slower
Process.
Which means
It's
So
about the
maybe I
process.
was thinking sorbet then.
I'm always getting sorbets mixed up. Okay, well there you go. Yeah.
Ash, do you know us well enough yet to attribute a colour to all three of us? Or could we do that at the end?
Yes, we can do that at the end.
Okay, that'll be fun. That'll be a nice little bonus content.
Can I change my answer for that, or is it stuck now?
You can change it.
You can change it.
Spaghetti and pizza, please.
Ooh,
it just
you're
sounds like
nicking Bush's answer.
Just sounds like a good starter and a main.
It does,
It's
yeah.
dessert.
I always
Yeah.
get a spaghetti and a pizza.
Yeah.
Italian.
Good
Share
combo.
it.
Okay, great. I'll lock those in. Question 4, last question on this round. One person on the guestination, and there are always some kind of slightly strange outliers on our sample. They said noise. That was the first word they attributed.
I can get with that, though, in Italy, and
Yeah.
people go around on mopeds and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of
100%.
honking.
A lot of honking.
Lot of honking.
lot of arguing.
Me moaning
Yeah.
about the smell.
Ash screaming out the window, closing the shutters.
But anyway, so one person on the guestination said noise. I want you to tell me, what was the first word this person associated with Germany? Because I also asked them that.
Yeah.
Was it bratwurst, efficient, or lederhosen?
It's got to be efficient because it's someone that clearly cares about like things running in orderly or like not being too invasive on their experience of life. I don't really know how to word what I'm trying to say.
No, I like that. It's good. I think you might be onto something there. Just for a point of difference, I'm going to say lederhosen.
Ooh.
What an incredible traditional outfit that is.
Yeah, I was with my brother-in-law on the weekend, and he told me he has to go on a stag do to Munich. They have like Oktoberfest, but then there's also one in spring.
Oh, right.
Don't know what that's called, Mayfest maybe. And he has to buy lederhosen, and he was moaning to me about how much.
They're really expensive.
They're really expensive because they're not going to accept having like any of the like cheaper ones are apparently not very authentic. And when you turn up there, people are actually quite offended.
Oh, really?
Really?
Wow.
Well, because they don't want it to be felt like a costume.
Exactly.
Wow.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of that. I mean, I like having a drink and everything, but the idea of sitting in a long table and just having those really big pints and being sick.
I don't
sounds
like
awful.
sitting next to people that I don't really know either.
So you must hate Wagamamas or something like that. I don't like getting their elbows and stuff like that.
And that's another reason for my corporate job. It was hot desking all the time.
Oh, God, that's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like I bring that up in every interview, like it's really scarred me or something.
But I mean, the whole workplace thing's definitely got weirder, hasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I know you've left that world now, but just even like having... You might go for an entire like year of having daily meetings with someone that you never actually physically meet.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd, isn't it?
Yeah, we had like, I worked in a team and then there was a team, but they were in a different building to ours. And we'd go on Teams calls, but not everybody would put their cameras on all the time. And so there was 2 girls in this other team who I wasn't really sure who was who, but I knew that they worked together and they was on the other team.
Yeah.
The day that I quit my job impulsively, something was in the air because I saw her on the way home and stopped outside her house and shouted, "Grace, Grace!" And she like turned round and I was like, "I've quit." I've never spoke to her in my life, like in like person or anything. And I was like, "I've quit," and she was like, "Have you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we were just looking at each other and she went, "Oh." And the cars in front of me had just gone. I was stuck in traffic, but they're gone. And I was like, "Oh, see ya." And then when I got home, I got a message from a girl not called Grace on my Teams being like, "Sorry, what did you say?" I was in like a rush. And I was like, "Oh my God," I was shouting Grace. But it was the other girl.
Yes, it's discombobulating.
Yeah.
And also, there's that horror of being the first one in the meeting for anyone else.
Oh, no, that's the worst. I've entered meetings and left them because of that.
Just bailed.
Yeah, I've got to be the last. Same with like when you meet as a group of friends, I'd like to be like the last one there rather than the first one.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. Actually, weirdly enough, just even being the first person who goes into Big Brother,
Yeah.
that'd be awful, wouldn't it?
Oh my God, it really
That.
would.
Just walking around with your wheel-long suitcase on your Todd.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it
panic
really
attacks aside, Matt, back to you.
Yeah, and well, that round is done.
Oof.
I've actually also got a voice note from a noise person, so we're going to hear their rationale at the end of this. Question 1, did more people say Luigi or Mario? They said Mario.
Knew it. Told you.
Straight
I didn't
in
come
there.
here to lose.
Mario.
She means business.
I can tell you the second most common answer was pizza, which you both said. So you both got a point there.
That's good. That's great.
And the most common answer was pasta.
Oh no.
Oh my Lord! Is that the one you changed your mind from?
You put that second, I think, originally.
I moved pasta to pizza, yeah, so I was getting 1 point either way.
Go with your gut instinct on this quiz.
Yes.
Really, not spaghetti?
Not spaghetti.
That is weird, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
Pasta, then pizza. And so the one person who said noise, I actually asked them to give their rationale. And they didn't follow the brief and say their name at the stop, so I can tell you this is Alan from Cornwall.
Alan.
Hello to all you guesstimators out there. And Italy, Noise. One of my favourite films, The Italian Job. Brilliant film. But also every scene in Italy seemed to be really noisy. Car horns, etc., etc. And this was also 1982, the World Cup, when Italy won. I lived in an area where quite a few Italians, and I can remember that they spent the entire night driving around, blaring their horns, shouting. Likewise, I was in the 90s, I ended up living in New York for a while, and I lived in quite an Italian neighbourhood. And once again, all I can really remember is them all being quite loud and noisy. I think shouting was always the sort of preferred method of speaking to each other.
There you go. Little potted look around Europe. Yeah. He 100% is a taxi driver. There's no two ways about it. I had a couple of Italians in, couldn't hear myself think the other week. Is that why he's moved to Cornwall then, just to get away from Italians?
Get away from the Italians.
I like the way he said car horn. It was like
It was
car
nice.
horn.
Car horn.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, cheers,
thank you.
Alan. And Alan's, the first word he associated with Germany was efficient. You got 3 out of 4.
Oh, sick.
Is that
I thought so, yeah.
a clean sweep for Ash, though, in that first round?
3 out of 4.
Aside from the pasta, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
solid.
good.
Good start.
Thank
It's
you.
a good start. Yeah, Ash, you're on a 3. Bush, you're on a 1.
Wow. Okay. Need to up my game.
You do indeed.
So.
Before we get into round 2, if you're listening and didn't play this quiz, make sure you sign up at guesstimators.com. Every Monday, the quiz lands in your email inbox, and you've got until 6 p.m. on Wednesday to tackle it. This podcast right here is the first place to hear the answers and whether you top the weekly leaderboard. And if you're enjoying the show, please give us a rating and a review. It really helps us to spread the word. Right, listen, welcome back. What have you got in store for us in round 2, Statman Matthew?
The topic of round 2 this week, only my mum and dad call me Matthew.
Sorry, I'm doing it.
Is Statman new today?
It's no Statman. We've
Oh,
always
no,
got
so
to
I've
always been
actually
Statman.
heard it, yeah.
Yeah.
But
ever
it's
since the podcast.
Matthew. I've never called him Matthew before, so
No, I don't
I
mind
like
it.
Statman, though.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
he sounds like a
Superhero.
superhero. I was thinking rapper, producer,
Oh.
rapper.
Nice.
Bit of both.
Yeah, a bit of both.
Which would you rather be, superhero or Statman?
I mean, that
You'd
could be a
get your
guess.
own
That could be a
song.
guesstimator's
That's the
question. That
thing.
would
Name a producer that gets their own theme song.
That'd be so good, like Timberland or something.
be. Yeah.
And then if you were to be called Ashley, would that be like someone telling you off slightly, or
Probably, yeah.
yeah? There's that vibe.
Yeah.
Same with me for Andrew.
Yeah, I force people to be chill with me.
Yeah,
When they're like, what's your name? I'm like, Ash.
just kind of
Yeah, just call me Ash.
just go with it.
Sorry. The topic of round 2 this week is
No,
particularly.
I'm sorry.
No,
I've just done it twice.
it's all right.
Good. That's what
That's
this
all right. This
show
is great content.
happens on the show.
It's great content. The topic of round 2 this week is particularly relevant to you, Ash, given the amount of content you create from your car.
Oh, yeah.
Because we gave the guest nation the hugely important task of ranking the 5 seats in a car from best to worst.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's easy for me.
I feel like you know in your mind what your favourite seat orders are.
Yeah.
If I'll draw a diagram then. So talk us through the car. then.
So the back left is where it's at.
Back left.
Yeah.
So number 1 spot back left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can see the driver, you can
Yeah.
chat to the driver, but also you're the guy that brings the vibes. So you lean in, you get the front guy, you get the back, but it's not too much. It's not overbearing. You haven't
Kind
got
of
to,
Uber driver's mate, that
exactly,
kind of thing.
You haven't got to help with the sat nav
Yeah.
directions. You haven't got to think about the radio. You know. You haven't
Okay.
got to bring the food in if you go for a drive-through. No responsibilities in the back, just good vibes only.
You're just like you bring the party. So next best location?
It is going to be the front passenger.
Front passenger, okay. Shotgun.
Yeah.
And your views on the passenger at the front, do they get to control, are they in charge of radio and air conditioning, or is that still the driver's responsibility?
They're in charge of radio and conditioning if they're considerate.
Okay. I'll make a little note of that. And then next one after that is you've either got the driver left or the person behind the driver.
The driver.
Driver is number 3.
And back middle.
Oh, back
No
middle.
one,
it is
no
the
one wants
back
middle.
Who wants back middle?
Yeah, nobody.
No leg room.
You go through the window like a rhino,
Yeah.
like a baby
Yeah.
rhino if they pull up. I've seen the government safety adverts.
And also, it's just really awkward. Like, if anyone's like doing anything on their phones or anything like that, you've got to like make it obvious that you're not looking at their phones.
Yeah,
or, like,
yeah,
if they're
yeah.
getting a picture, you're in the middle, you're behind them. Like
Yeah, that's sat in the middle.
Yeah.
Like a scolded child with half a seatbelt up your ass.
You're always in the rearview mirror as well, which is really off-putting.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah,
That's
It's horrible because you just can't. Every time the driver looks behind him, you're like,
You've got to keep up with the facial expressions as well. Like if you're in
Like
like
you're not
a group,
scared.
Yeah, like if you're on like a hen do and you're in the back, if the driver's talking, they're probably just only going to look at you. So that means you've got to keep your facial expressions up.
There's a lot of pressure, isn't there, in that middle position?
No, but if you're in the back left, you can do what you want, mate. I'm telling you.
It's the party seat.
It seriously is.
Make sure you follow us at Guesstimators. We will be publishing Ash's extensive guide to the best places to sit in the car.
We'll take a photo of you. Bush literally drew a diagram there.
There's a little diagram.
Yeah,
Nice.
he wasn't joking.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to tidy it up a little bit whilst
Wait,
Matt's
what's
talking.
this? Because it's not paper.
It's like a magic electronic pad because I have
we're desperate for
Yeah,
this
say the name
sponsor,
again
so
because
keep talking
we
about
want
it.
we want to
remarkable.
support.
But I
Remarkable.
I
It's
don't know about you,
remarkable.
if I think of something for the show or something I want to talk about, if I don't write it down within 5 minutes, it's gone.
Yeah.
Like a dove. So I
Yeah.
need to write it down. So this is always with me at all times.
Have you considered a song for Remarkable?
Like a song.
A little silly
jingle.
song?
That would be amazing. Yeah, I mean they're yet to come back to us about any form of a sponsorship deal, but if you were able to put together a song, that would be pretty good.
How do you like your... Wait, hang on. How do you like your pads in the morning?
How do you like your pads in the morning?
I know, as I was saying that.
Sounds like an incontinence
Maybe.
issue.
We're open to that though as well.
Yeah.
If they want to if Tenor want to come and sponsor us.
Medium flow or just a light one.
What's it called again? Remarkable. Remarkable. Embark.
It's a work in progress.
Look, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes.
Fine, okay. We'll
Come back to us
that
by
then.
the end of this.
No,
It's going to be singing big time.
Right, back to the quiz.
Sorry.
So we heard Ash's ranking,
Yeah.
but we asked this to the Guestination, and I want you to tell me for question 1, what was the most common answer for the best seat in the front? There's only 2 choices. Is it drivers or front passenger?
What are you thinking, Ash? What do you think
Driver.
the people think?
I think people think driver.
You reckon?
Yeah, because I see a lot of discourse around passenger seat, like being a bad passenger seat driver.
Oh,
What
right,
do they
yeah.
call it?
Backseat driver. Well, backseat, but they mean passenger, really.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, and I've seen it in the movies and stuff. People get nervous, especially when their driver's in the passenger seat.
Well, you see the little
I've
braking
seen it
leg
in the
going.
movies.
I've seen it in the movies on a talkie.
Yeah.
But no, I've witnessed that if I'm driving before and I think someone doesn't trust my driver, I can see their little brake leg going.
Yeah.
I hate that. Or
Yeah.
holding on to that bit at the side as well.
But it does though, like when I'm in the car with my partner, it always looks like he's going to hit the curb to me in the passenger side, but he never does. But
So do you sort of go like that?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
my wife does
Yeah,
all
my
the
wife does
time.
that
Every
as
time
well.
I'm
Yeah,
driving,
I
she's
do.
like,
but
I'm like, what?
I frighten
Stop
him.
it.
Because I frighten him because I'll be
Yes,
like,
that's exactly it,
He's like,
Okay, so you're saying, seat number 2 in your chart that I'm working from here.
yeah, I've seen it in the movies. Trust me.
All right. So now, So you're saying the best one would actually be the driver? You think people would say the driver's
sorry,
seat?
yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. So I gave you a bum steer there. I'm going to say the passenger seat would be the best, just because you don't have to worry about driving.
The first time I ever got in a cab, I'd never been in a cab before, and I was like 18 or something. I got in the front passenger seat, so I didn't realise you were meant to get in the back.
Oh,
So
no,
I sat
get
next
it.
to him, and it was like an
black
hour.
cab?
It was like it was a licensed mini cab sort of thing. And I got in the front with him, and he was just like, "What are you doing?" But then it was like an hour-long journey, and so I just sat there, and I didn't really think about it. And then it was talking of cringe. That like
I
makes me die.
100% used to do that, like for a long time, like get in the front seat. And then me and my friends once got in the back, and I was like, "Oh, this feels a bit rude. Like he's like the chauffeur." And she was like, "He is." And I was like, "Oh, what do you always do this?" No, I've literally had the same.
Okay, good.
Is it the game's gone these days? You know what I mean? You just sit in the back.
Yep.
So Matthew, first question.
Well, the second question, speaking of which, at the back, simply what was the most common answer for the best seat in the back? Driver's side, middle or front passenger side, but all in the back. Which was the most common answer for the best of all of those options?
On your chart here, Ash, it would be seats 1, 5, and 4. Mm-hmm. What are you saying?
Passenger seat back.
Okay,
Yep.
so the party bringer.
Yeah.
I'm going to go controversial. No one's saying middle back. That's just like horrendous. I'm going to say the one just behind the driver's seat because I feel like the pressure's off you to make conversation then. Do you know what I mean? Because you're directly behind the driver.
It is true. Do you know, context is huge here, because what's the vibes we're going for? Like, if it was like, you know, taxi after a long day at work, I might honestly say driver's side back.
Yeah.
But
if it's just you and the taxi driver and you're getting behind him, though, it looks like you're about to shoot him in the back of the head with like a hit, doesn't it? That's Put his mind at ease by sitting at an angle.
It's so, yeah. If you go directly behind him, I feel like it's really obvious that you don't want to talk to them. Then what they're going to do, because they can't even see you.
Well, this is it.
So you don't have to face it, really.
Yeah, again, we arrive at the strange, odd, language beyond language that you get in social situations.
It's a height thing as well, because if you've got long legs, sitting behind the driver, if they're tall, is a nightmare.
Yeah, he's on my knees in his back.
Oh my God, yeah. Your knees either side of him.
Yeah,
like you're doing his teeth.
straddle the driver.
Just going to give you a little clean up around here. All right.
Okay, fine. So, sorry, I think I misspoke when I asked the question. I meant just passenger side, back passenger side. Although that sounds weird, me saying the back passenger side. Which is what you're saying, Ash. So you're saying behind the passenger side of the back, and you're saying the driver's side.
Yeah.
God, I feel like I should never have clarified.
Just use Ash's chart.
Wait, what did I say?
You said basically behind the passenger at the back. So yeah, what you ranked as number one. Okay.
Seating zone 1, as per the Ash chart.
Great. Question 3, last question of this round. As you'd expect, back middle was the most common answer for the worst. We probably could have guessed that.
Knew that. Easy.
But what was the second most common answer for the worst? Which is different from the best, right?
Are we talking about the back specifically here, or just anywhere in the car?
Any of those seats what was the second most common answer for the worst seat after back middle?
The worst seat after back middle?
The second worst seat.
Second worst seat, yeah. Most common answer for the second worst seat, yeah.
It's behind the driver.
No, I agree.
Back driver.
Behind the driver. Yep. Knees in that person's back. Blowing on the back of their ear when you're talking to them.
Left out, crying out the window when you go on a hen do.
Exactly. Nightmare situation.
Do you go on a lot of driving hen dos? Is that what you do?
Well, I plan on one day, and I'm just getting it all sorted in my mind.
Okay.
So, so I'm not weird.
It's funny you never got into a taxi, Will, until you were 18.
Can we unpack that for a second?
On his way to court.
Maybe I had, but this was the first time I've gotten a taxi on my own.
Oh, solo.
Yeah.
Fine, okay.
No, because I don't think Uber existed when I was 18. I'm quite old. In fact, it definitely didn't.
Where were you going in your 1 hour taxi drive?
I was working when I worked on T4, and I was travelling back from Westbourne Studios to Essex. So it was a long journey, and I'd worked late, and they booked me like a mini cab sort of thing to take me home, and I just didn't know what I was doing.
I think you need to set the tone at the beginning, whether you're going to have a conversation, you're going to be chatting to the driver.
Well, I therefore had to chat to him the whole way home. Really long journey as well. It's like definitely over an hour.
Yeah.
It's horrendous.
I love when you're in a taxi driver. You specifically.
Yes.
I've been in your taxis, in the back, behind the driver. That's what I mean. You didn't even notice me. That's how I know.
I've been here loads of times, mate. You remember me?
No, when you and the taxi driver mutually agree that you're not going to do it today, like, when you get in and they're just like, you're right, and you're like, yeah, you, and then they're just nothing. That's so nice.
Well, if sometimes if we do the breakfast show on Absolute Radio, you get picked up in a taxi, and that's at 3:30 in the morning, ahead of getting to London for like 4:30. And sometimes some of the taxi drivers want to talk to you all the way in from Essex, and it's like, no, you need to just. So what I'll do is I'll watch something on my iPad and say, sorry, I've got to watch this for work. So he doesn't know I'm watching The Apprentice, and he takes it in the glasses. Nice. Set the tone.
Yeah. Who would want to talk at that time in the morning?
This is it. And I'm not saying, am I your last one? You know what the usual taxi questions are.
Who
Busy
do you
night,
support?
mate. Who do you support? Busy night, mate. Where'd you get your beaded seat from?
Do you know what I love to do in taxis? I love to pretend that I'm better than everyone else. So I'll be like, what's your worst passenger then? I bet they're so annoying, aren't they? I bet they come and sit in front and talk to you the whole time. Drunk people and that, I'm drunk.
He'll ask me if he knows Will.
Yeah.
Message. It was really weird.
Have you noticed him in the back?
Straddling me.
Right. Answers are in.
Yes.
Question 1. What was the most common answer for the best seat in the front? It was the driver's side. You got that right, Ash?
Oh, yay.
Even though it wasn't your favourite seat, the best seat.
Oh.
No, that's good quizzing.
Yeah.
That's good quizzing.
She's on a roll here.
I know.
I think so.
What was the most common answer for the best seat in the back? It was on the passenger's side. Got that one right as well, Bush.
Party seat, vibe seat, hype seat. Let's call it the hype seat.
Yeah.
And what was the second most common answer after back middle for the worst seat? It was back driver's side. You clean swept that round, Ash.
This is very impressive. Don't say it, Bush.
Don't. Yeah.
You get to this point where you might be on for the record.
Score, I'm guessing that is.
Really?
I don't want to say it out loud because we said this before, and I'd hate for you to fall away in the final round and me then win.
No, it's not going to happen. I can feel it.
It does mean, however, after 2 rounds, Ash, you're on a 6.
Yes.
Bush, you're on a 2.
Ash is a hustler. There's no two ways about it. Played it down at the beginning, now kicking my ass.
Yep.
Ash, we just mentioned your car. You work a lot from your car with the TikTok stuff that you've done, as we just suggested. Do you have a good relationship with your car? It's a place of work?
I love my car. Like, I love being in my car by myself. When I worked that corporate job, again, I used to spend all my lunches, like, I would just go out to my car and sit by myself in the car.
Really? So we had a builder come and do some stuff in our house recently, and he would just go and sit in his car for a bit.
Yeah.
Are you all right sitting and having your sandwich in the car?
1,000,000%.
Really?
No, you'd never catch me in like a communal area having my lunch.
I really?
Unless I'm feeling rather fruity that day and I fancy performing for people.
Put
That's
on a
how
show.
I feel. Like, if I'm in a communal area, I'm like, I'm performing right now. Like, people are watching me, even though they're not. But like, I'm watching other people and people watching. I think that I'm like playing the part or whatever.
What happens if you are having your lunch in your car and then someone pulls up and they start to have their lunch also with the window open?
I swear on my life, I would drive away and go to different spots.
I suspected as much.
It's about not being perceived. I need to not be perceived for like an hour. So like, there were a couple of times where my partner would have the car. Say if like he was at home poorly or something, and it would really make me panic while I were at work that I didn't have somewhere to hide on my lunch break. Honestly, like,
you should bring like a tent that you can put.
Yeah,
up
like I
somewhere.
literally was thinking like, oh, like, is the disabled toilet like? How,
Does it have a
how
table?
I'm feeling like, yeah, is that okay? Or like, I was really honestly panicking. And then there's been times as well where people have said to me like, what are you doing for lunch? And I've been like, nothing. And then they've been like, shall we? And I'm just like, oh no, I'm not. I need that hour to recharge.
Yeah. And you, how are you with like? I mean, these guys have taken the mickey out of me a lot. I don't like eating with my hands, so
Yeah.
I subscribe to a religion called knife and forkism, which is you use knife and fork to eat pizza and burgers.
Really?
Yes, I'm a bit weird.
What about a doner wrap?
Knife and fork.
There's nothing.
I just I don't like food falling out of my mouth and on my hands.
Okay, I understand that.
Must have an eating problem. But is that part of the whole being watched thing if you're eating your food?
Kind of, because I have a kind of thing with food as well, where I will only eat really plain foods. Like, I'll eat the same foods. Like, I've got like a set of safe foods that I eat and I've always eaten growing up.
When you say safe, what do you mean?
They're safe because I know exactly what they're going to taste like.
Right.
Like, someone could never just pass me something like a tuna crunch or something and be like, try that. Like,
right.
I have to know what it's going to be like in my mind. But it's like a sensory thing. Like,
I
can't stand like unexpected like senses.
Mm-hmm.
So like, when I used to work as a fundraiser, I used to every day I would get a ham and cheese sandwich from Sainsbury's, but then I would take one of the slices of cheese out, and then the other slice I would break it off into little islands around the ham so that the cheese wasn't too cheesy.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then I would and this is before I knew I was neurodivergent as well. Like, everyone would watch me do it, and I was just like, I don't know, but it just feels better for me.
But is it like we've had talked about this before on the podcast about people getting diagnosed with ADHD a lot later on in life than but is it part of it though? Surely is just like knowing what you like and you want to stay within the boundaries of what you like and be your best self, right? And prepare to be in a situation where you're doing your best.
I think where the problem arises is like, growing up, it was like, this is just what I like. I like chicken nuggets and chips. I like kids' party food type food. Like, this is just what I like. But then, and it was also like, this is just how I am. I'm just laid back. And then like, it got to a point where I was suddenly a grown-up and I'm in restaurants with my friends and they're like, just try something new, and I'm sweating and I'm panicking and I'm like, no, because like I don't want to try something new. Like, can you just tell me the closest thing to chicken nuggets and chips here? And I'm begging, pleading, and then that's when I was like, maybe this is actually something deeper than like, I get really, really worried about trying new things.
But like, the ability to be able to tune into those kind of gaps beyond, language and human behaviour is an incredible skill, and that's what makes you so good at what you do. But obviously, that always comes at a price. Like I was thinking, for me, I was really shy at school, but then you witnessed. I think your senses are more open to stuff, but part of that is going through that weird chaos behind the scenes a little bit. So, with your ADHD, do you see it as it's almost like it's giving you access to like stuff that other people couldn't pick up on?
Oh my God.
So what's your relationship with it like? Do you you don't begrudge it?
It's so hard because it's just like, I just have to sort of like, I just have to apply a bit of like radical acceptance with it all because I can't change it. And like, I'm never going to be able to fit square pegs in round holes. Like I'm never going to be everything I'm not, but everything I'm not makes me everything that I am as well.
100%.
And like there's so many things that I can do that other people can't. Like, so people say to me all the time, like, how do you even think of what to say, or like, or I would never dare do that. And that, like, the things that come easy to me come really hard to other people.
Yep.
And sometimes I do think that I would trade it. I would trade like being able to be a bit funny and a bit unconventional to just like have my dopamine receptors be normal and get joy from like just keeping my house tidy or like just plodding on by. But because I'm always just like, no, I've got to do something so extreme.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do think it would be nice to live a slower paced life, but then I can't, so I've just got to accept.
I just think in life we particularly from when you're a kid onwards, you're just desperate to try and be normal. And I think as older you get, normal is actually quite boring. So it's quite good to be off that beaten path.
No one that I've ever met that's been like so normal has ever really, like truly like inspired me or like entertained me or like I've wanted to be like them. But I do admire them. Like I see people that like go like cold water swimming and like read books and stuff like. And I do aspire to be like that one day. But people that are just so satisfied, they're just normal.
Yeah.
And they don't need to go to dire straits to do anything.
Listen, it's time for our final round. What do you have for a stat man?
Round 3, I know just from spending time with producer Will outside Guesstimators is something that's very triggering for him. Because we asked the Guestination to say how many days past their use-by date they would still cook with and eat eggs.
I hate this question. So
oh dear.
Why do you hate it?
Just I would never eat an egg outside of its use-by date, so it's just a silly question.
I did ask ChatGPT the other day, like if I can go over it.
Yeah.
When I found
and
out
it just say no.
egg.
What did ChatGPT say?
I'm pretty sure it said to not, or that if it smells or like has got it was something about the colour or the smell or something like that. But I was like, I don't know my eggs enough to gauge that. So I'm just.
Isn't there a thing where you put it in like a pint of water and if it floats, it's bad, or it's on its way?
Or if it floats, it's good. I can't remember which way around it is.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. I'm the same as you, Will. I don't like going over. I know there's like
best before
an ethically
fine,
thing that's wrong with like chucking out food that's fine. But I find eggs. I'm older than you guys, so I'm haunted by Edwina Curry's big salmonella panic from back in the 80s. Do you know what I mean? It stayed with me, man. That kind of stuff absolutely scared the life out of me.
It's
going
bad
over
though, isn't it? Salmonella. Like,
it's like the worst.
Yeah. Terrible for people. One of my friends had that as a child, and it was really, really bad for her.
Yeah. You don't want to muck with it. That's why you don't want to mess with eggs.
I
know. Do you know what I mean?
This is what I mean, Matt. It's just silly. But please go on.
Fresh eggs sink.
Fresh eggs sink.
Fresh eggs sink. I don't know whether there's some kind of memory thing that you can. Oh, and older eggs float. Oh, well, obviously. Or the stale eggs float.
Do you think older eggs float because maybe they start to go bad and produce a gas that?
Yeah, it must be something chemical.
And if that's the case, I mean, that's almost proof of our argument to leave them, give them a wide berth.
I think it's because moisture evaporates and is replaced by air, and this air makes the egg more buoyant. He says, reading that directly off Google.
I think. A little suspicion.
Anyway, we asked the Guestination how many days past their use-by date they would still cook with and eat eggs. Question 1, who on average said a longer period of time, under 30s or over 60s? So basically the youngs or the olds prepared to eat more, in inverted commas, out-of-date eggs.
Well, just going off of what you said, I would say the youngers
would go longer or shorter?
Would go longer because they don't know about the salmonella.
That's a good point. Although then again, older people sometimes are a bit kind of like... My mum's got this phrase, my mum's from Liverpool, she always says, you'll eat worse than that before you die. My mum used to, this is honestly true, when she was a kid in Liverpool, they used to scrape chewing gum off the pavement and then eat it.
Stop it.
Honest to God. But there's still a nostalgia to that kind of thing, like it made them like... hard as nails and tough as old boots,
Yeah.
and they don't get as many colds as like kids do these days, etc. Do you know what I mean?
I swear they make it up.
I bet they
honestly,
do.
I swear. My nan once said to me, she was helping me after I'd had my firstborn, and we got home from the hospital. It was not immediately after we got home from the hospital. She was with me for 2 weeks, so it was like maybe a few days or something. And she was like, "Oh, it's all so different nowadays. Like when I was younger, I remember your Uncle Dan crying, and my mum said to me, put him at the bottom of the garden."
Oh my words!
Put him at the bottom of the garden. Just let him, but the fresh air, being away, you don't need to hear it. So go in, do some housework and come back to it. And I was thinking, I don't know that's any different from just ignoring him. You're just putting him at the bottom of the garden.
Sounds like neglect
Doesn't make
to
it
me.
any more holistic.
But they used to put, and this is honestly true, my grandparents have told me this, that they used to put whiskey in our milk to get us to go to sleep during like weddings and christenings and stuff like that, which is kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Can't do anything these days with kids, can you?
It's
Do you know what I mean?
so annoying.
It's just a shot of...
Just end up drunk. They're not tough at all.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think for me, I think maybe I'm going to go over 60s in that kind of like tough as old boots, olden days. You'll eat worse than that before you die. But you reckon it might be the under 30s going a bit longer?
Oh, because now I'm thinking we'd just Google it.
That is a good point. That is a really good point, actually.
Yeah. And I don't want to lose my streak. How long have we got left of the podcast?
As long as we need.
But 2 more questions after this.
Yeah.
Lovely. I'll just have a stroll then. Okay, I'm going to go... sorry, which am I answering for, most or least?
Who on average said a longer period of time that they would eat, they would eat standby,
Okay.
gone off eggs, effectively. Oh, well, maybe not gone off. Will, you're in my head.
Right, I'm going to go older.
Older, okay.
Over 60s.
Over 60s.
Okay.
I'll take over 60s for both of you.
Ash on to have one of the highest guesstimate scores ever, quite possibly here.
Last 2 questions before the tiebreaker. Easy ones. Well, not easy. Easy for me to say. What was the most common answer? And what was the second most common answer? Actually, this is quite a hard question, but number of days. What was the most common answer? What was the second most common answer? How many days past their use-by date they would still cook with and eat eggs?
Is naught an option?
Naught was an option. Naught was an option, yes.
So there's the best before thing, and then there's use by, isn't there? There's 2 different kind of things. But we're talking about use by here.
I think the specific way the question was worded was they would still cook with and eat eggs after their use-by date.
Most common answer, Ash, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go 1 day.
Most common.
I'm going to go 3 days.
Okay, we're not doing we're not doing it on average here, are we? This
Most
is like
common, yeah.
a
Most
specific. So you said 3.
Yeah.
2.
Oh, she tricked me into saying mine. Change things. Okay, yeah.
So, sorry, you say it's 2 most common answer.
Yeah.
What would you say,
I'm
please?
going to say 3.
3, okay. I also need a second most common answer for both of you, please.
Alrighty. So what I'm thinking is you say 2 and I say 3, and then I maintain my score if they're right.
Wow, now that's the dark arts. That's the dark arts of guesstimating. No one's ever done it yet, but going the same as the other person just to freeze them out and hedge your bets.
Second most common. Oh, this is a really tricky question because there's not much context to it.
I reckon you'd be a really good poker player, Ash.
Do you?
Yeah, I reckon you would do. You're quite unpredictable, but you also have quite a steely kind of, side to you as well.
I'm actually always really good at that game, but I can't remember what it's called. But it's a swear word. It's called a swear word. It's called the B swear word.
Oh, a game of bastard.
Oh, are we allowed to swear?
Yeah.
That's also encouraged.
What is this game of which you talk? This is a swear word.
It's basically where you've got to convince people that you have a certain deck of cards. So you've got to be like, I'm onto one here, and you've got to put your cards, but you've got to
cheat.
Yeah, it's basically
But it's
like
bullshit, is it? Called
bullshit, not bastard.
Who's for a game of bastard?
That's the Yorkshire version.
Which one of you lot up for a game of bastard?
I'm really, really good at bullshit. I would take my whole performing arts class in college and kill them all.
Kill them all. That's amazing.
Thanks,
okay.
though. I'll take that forward.
That's right. You should do it.
Thank you.
I need second most common answers from both of you, please.
I'm going to say 8.
8.
8 days over.
8
days over.
Why?
I think there's some hardcore people out there.
What do you reckon your mum would say if you asked her the question?
I've seen my mum eat raw mince before when cooking.
For God's sake.
My mum would probably be like 10 days.
But raw mince, that's
wash
like
it down with some street gum.
Exactly. Big up the Norris Green crew if you're from Norris Green listening to this in Liverpool.
No, because this is what I mean with it being so open-ended, because it's like in certain countries they're probably going to be more... Oh, so it's just the audience, isn't it?
The destination.
I see. Sorry, yeah.
You are right. In
So
America,
overcomplicating
they're
it.
different, aren't they? They're very, very... I don't think they would throw them out straight away.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
love waste.
So I'm going to say... I'm going to say
Chlorine
5.
5.
Okay, sorry.
5.
Chlorine chicken.
Second most common. Okay, great. So 3 and 8 for you, Bush, and then 2 and 5 for you, Ash.
Are you going to patronise me by asking the tiebreaker question, even though we clearly don't need it?
I am. You know me too well.
Okay.
Tiebreak answer. What was the highest someone on the Guest Nation said?
The highest?
So the longest amount of time someone would eat an egg.
Yeah.
But like, if you've been in a chippy, right, and you see a pickled egg, would you ever eat like a pickled egg? You know, on the things they've got in a
Never.
jar in a chip shop.
No, I don't eat really any vegetables.
Don't you?
No, I swear. I just like things...
I'm not sure an egg is a vegetable.
I do eat eggs though, so that actually correlates.
It's one of your 5 a day.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot what we were
No, but like,
talking
you know, when you
about.
go into a chip shop and you've got like a jar of gherkins, you've got a jar of pickled eggs, and you get a jar of pickled onions. Would you
Yeah.
have any of those 3 things?
No.
You wouldn't.
No, even if I get like a kebab or a burger or anything like that, if it's got salad on it, I'll take it all off.
Would you?
But I like the smell it leaves. I like a little bit of like a lettucey vibe. I like to pretend.
The hint of lettuce.
Yeah, so
That's-
like sometimes I'll get a kebab and I'll be like, chuck a bit of red onion on there, love. Yeah, I'm a grown up. Get it on there, and then I'll peel it all off and like have to scream on me
Oh,
to
my
get it
word.
off. But it gives me a little bit of flavour. But
If
not
you
too
had to
much.
eat like one veg, what would it be though? What's the one you got the
Is potato a vegetable?
Yeah, I think
Yep.
so.
Is
kind
it?
of,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like chips, mash,
Pretty versatile, really.
crisps. But a different vegetable, I couldn't honestly tell you. Maybe I could get away with a bit of like carrot in my mash.
Okay, fair. You'd have to hide it like a child.
yeah. When I make the kids dinner, I have to hide all of our vegetables.
That's great. Okay, yeah. So we want a real outlier here.
Yeah, so you can say a year, 365 days.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 6 months. If Ash is going year, I'm going to go 6 months.
6 months, which is half. Oh, what's that in days? That is.
Oh, that's a very
it's
good
a real test. No, that's fine. That is 182 and a half.
Well done. Good
Well
maths.
done.
Good maths there.
Thank you. I do have an A-level in maths.
Do
Not
you?
to boast.
It was prison
I
talk.
knew you were a colour purple.
And I got an A.
That's
Oh, purple. Oh, yeah, purple.
You're a purple because the maths books were always purple for me anyway.
Oh, brilliant! So I'm going to add this to my card drawing then. So you're putting Statman Matt down as the vibe, and the thing you're getting from him is purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll get Will and I's one just in just a second.
Yeah, okay. Let's do the answers
Sorry.
first and then we'll do that. Okay, answers are in. We've got your tiebreak answers. So, who said a longer period of time? Was it the youngsters or the olders, under 30s or over 60s? It was over 60s. You both got that one right.
Boom.
The second most common answer, I can tell you, was 7, which neither of you said. In fact, you're both say it was in between what you both said. You said
nearly there.
8, Bush, and you said 5, Ash. The most common answer was 2 days. You got that bang on.
Yay!
This is incredible. This is incredible.
8 points.
That
That
actually
is.
means we've done this for about a year and a half every week, and that's the highest anyone's ever got.
Oh, I thought
clap
8 was the
myself.
record, but
Wow.
Was it Sue's previously?
no.
She got
there
7.
Someone this series has got an 8.
Fine, okay. I might need to.
During all of that, should we give Ash a round of applause? I thought
Oh,
Ash
yeah.
applauded herself.
I'm looking through now. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, that's the equal. Derek.
Do that bit again.
Derek Mitchell got
Derek Mitchell got an 8.
eight.
That's a joint highest ever.
Me and Derek.
You and Derek Mitchell, yeah.
We go
Double
way
Dutch.
back.
So a big round of applause for Ash.
Thank you.
Well done. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Thanks so
Will.
much.
The tiebreak answer. I mean, some people on the Guest Nation are quite weird, but they're not as weird as you two thought. 30 days, someone said that was the highest. That is a month.
I'm really astounded by that round.
That's dangerous. I'd say that's a dangerous time to eat an egg.
And that is to cook and eat.
Yeah, so they would use an egg in cooking for 30 days after the use-by date.
They're getting salmonella.
I still don't understand how eggs are like. How do you have eggs that are just like something you have as like a poached egg, and then why do chickens come out of the other ones? Do you know what I mean?
Some are fertilised.
Yeah.
I know, but like, how's that even?
I don't know, but the other day when I was with my out-of-date eggs, in that same pouch, 3 of the eggs had 2 yolks in them.
Whoa.
Oh, double yolker.
Yeah.
That's like good luck, I think.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what had me.
That's
win
why
today.
you won. Yeah.
Yeah. It's foreshadowing, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well done, Ash. That's an incredible score.
Thank you. I didn't lay them, but
Good on you.
Yeah. So 30 days was the tiebreaker. Bush, you got a 3. Ash, you got an 8. You absolutely smashed Bush this week,
yes.
Amazing.
Thank you.
and you were the winner of this. There's
What is
there's a prize. There's a prize.
Oh, amazing.
The first task is
Open it. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Easy.
Look at this.
Oh my god. Oh,
It's a
sick.
Guesstimator's mug.
Branded mug.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yay. Do you have a
you.
favourite hot drink? Do you make any funky hot drinks?
I love a coffee.
White Americano?
Sorry, I should have.
Like on its bottom. On the base of the mug. Literally, this happens every single episode. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you.
Do send us a photo when you have your first coffee in your brand new Guesstimator's
I will,
mug.
yeah. I've got a cafeteria at home.
Oh, someone's doing all right for themselves.
Yeah.
Check
I
you
am.
out.
It takes about 15 minutes to make a coffee, though, because our microwave's broke as well, so I've got to, like, actually pan the milk.
Do you?
Boil it on the pan, yeah.
I like something nice about that. If you turn your eyes away from it for just a second, it boils over, doesn't it?
It does.
It's annoying. It's waiting for you.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
Thank you so much,
You've got to
guys.
do
It's
colours.
so good.
Oh, yeah,
Ash,
colours.
can you do Bush and Willis
Okay,
colours?
purple, orange, yellow, but like a yellowy, like
Like a piss colour.
No,
not piss.
no. Honestly,
No, Ashley's talking about producer Will here
trust
as
me, I
yellow.
swear on my life, it's not pissy.
Okay.
It's like kind of like this.
Okay.
But a bit paler.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'd say
orange.
that wire's kind of the colour that you described me, though, orange.
Orange.
So, yeah.
Me and Bush are quite similar.
Yeah.
Similar colours.
Yeah, but okay, so you're a bit more pastel.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I get it.
A lot of people have said that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Pissy pastel.
Pissy pastel. What a way to wrap up. Well, listen, thank you for watching and listening. Thank you to our celebrity
Thank
guest.
you so much for having me.
Well, it's brilliant to have you on, the amazing Ash Tyson. Make sure you listen right to the end of this podcast to hear Statman Matt reveal who topped the leaderboard this week. And we love hearing from you, so please let us know how you did on social and with a voice note. As ever, the voice note number is 07457 404 279. You've been listening to Guesstimators. We'll see you next time.
Hello, Guestimators. It's Statman Matt here. I hope you really enjoyed that episode. We loved having Ash with us. She was hilarious. So check her out on all of her socials. Anyway, this week's leaderboard, I can tell you that the average score was 6 this week. Quite high, given it's been quite tough recently, the quiz. So if you scored 6 and above, congratulations. And there were 6 people tied at the top this week with a 9 and with the tiebreaker correct. And those 6 people were Lauren O'Gorman, Simon Haig, Mez Leyland, Gary Marshall, Mark Williams, and Will Cutler. Big up the Cutlers. All of them won this week, tied with a 6. They all got the first 8 questions right, and then a variation of getting one of the options wrong for most common and second most common answer about to use by dates on eggs. Either way, congratulations. Well done for topping the leaderboard. I'll be in touch with each one of you soon about getting your Guestimators prize to you. I was just thinking about having to go to the post office to send all of those, which filled me with a little bit of dread, but whatever, that is my problem. Anyway, have a great Easter weekend. We'll be back as ever on the bonus round on Monday, and it will also be our first ever golden question round. So make sure you're signed up by Sunday midnight as a member to take part in that quiz. Over and out.